Take off.
Hello everyone, how's it going?
Good, it's Luke.
CEO.
Nice to meet you.
How you guys doing today?
We're doing good, doing good. How about yourself?
Pretty good.
Doing great.
So before we kind of jump into things, we thought it'd be a good idea to kind of run over an agenda, what we want to go over today. Is that something right with you guys?
Yeah, actually, before we do that, can we do a little introduction, state everyone's name and their titles?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, let's start out with that. We'll start with Jason.
For the record, I'm Jason. I'm the Director of Operations here.
I'm Matt, I'm the product manager.
I'm Luke McFarland, CEO of AutoZone.
I'm Quinn, I'm the CFO.
I'm Alex Bartels, and I'm the Chief Analytics Officer.
I'm Jerry Caro, I'm the CEO of FedEx.
And I'm Courtney Becerra, the VP of Operations and Logistics.
And I'm Megan Lance, and I'm the Vice President of Sales for FedEx.
Great, awesome.
All right.
So you were saying you want to go over the agenda. I know we kind of previously touched on it a little bit.
Yeah, we kind of had, sorry about that, we kind of had the 10 main objectives, starting out with more important ones and going on to less important ones. So the first one that we came up with was the amount of shipments. The second was the software implementation. The third was a contract length. The fourth were the discounts. The fifth was a 2-day delivery. The sixth was the FedEx logo on shipping boxes and bags. The seventh was rural delivery fees. The eighth was participation in commercial advertising. The ninth was renewal of a contract. And the 10th was AutoZone providing parts for FedEx, for our FedEx fleet. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, there were a couple different from mine. I think I have 6th as the rural deliveries. I have 7th, the ability to renew the contract. And then 8th being the FedEx stickers on our doors. And then 9th being the FedEx logo on our packages. 10th with what you said, the provide parts at a 25% discount.
Okay.
Just so we're all on the same track again, would you mind providing those numbers one more time for me?
Yep. So first we have amount of shipments.
Yep.
This is, I'm sorry, for objective 1. Okay.
Correct, yep.
Sounds like our last,
Yeah, it's like our last 3 or 4.
6 and 9.
yeah, if you wouldn't mind just listing 6 and 9.
Yep, okay, yeah, so 6th is rural discounts. 7th is ability to renew contract, which I think we can be able to maybe tie that one in with the 3rd, just the length of the contract as well.
Definitely.
8th, we have FedEx stickers on our doors, or store doors. 9th, FedEx logo on our packages. 10th, AutoZone to provide parts for provide parts for your fleets at 25% discount, correct?
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that was just the 6 through 9 then.
Yeah,
So we're kind of
yeah, 6
something
and 10.
different order. Okay, I don't think, that shouldn't be a problem though.
Same
stuff.
No, yeah,
Yep,
actually a couple of them tying together just like you said, so
Yeah.
I feel like that would work fine.
yeah.
Do you guys think it's a good idea to kind of rerun through our opening so we can make sure we're on the same page with that as well?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, let's do that.
Alright. So, we want to be the exclusive ground shipment company for 100% of AutoZone shipments. We want to offer a 15% discount off of our current prices for services. Well, we want a contract for 5 years. We want to spend no more than $100,000 on implementing the software. We would like a logo of 3x3. We agree to promote AutoZone by using a 6x6 sticker on the back of FedEx trucks that would say something like maintenance parts for this vehicle are provided by AutoZone in exchange for fully participation in FedEx promotional material. And then finally, we would offer a 25% discount, or we want a 25% discount on parts for our FedEx fleet.
Does that sound similar as what you guys had?
Yep.
Okay.
And then I guess we can go over ours really quickly as well.
So, for the FedEx software, we want our software covered 100%. For our quantity discount for FedEx services, we are looking to get a 65% discount. For the amount of shipments that we want you to have total, it would be 50%. We want you to provide at least 5,000 2-day delivery packages. We want a contract no longer than 3 months. We want no extra charge for rural deliveries. And we want the ability to renew a contract for 5 years at the same set rate as we're gonna set the contract today. If we do that.
That sounds good, that sounds like all of our information too.
Yes.
So I believe that we have covered our openings.
Yeah.
So I'd like to look at that first objective, if that's okay, the amount of shipments.
We can get started, yeah.
So I understand you want 50% of the shipments to go through FedEx. We would like exclusivity. Just going off of that 50% shipments, we think that this partnership between us and yourselves, it would be to your benefit to have all of your shipments with us, because you're already gonna have that software set up, so our systems can communicate really well. And then it would be to your benefit, I think. So how do you guys feel about that?
Right now, how we're looking at it is, we would like to have another outlet, like UPS or USPS, just in case there are certain situations or times where, like say for the holidays, for example, you guys may not be able to fulfill our demand, and if we have more outlets available to us, it would be nice for those to come in when you guys are too busy during certain times of the year, or any other situations might come up.
And to add to that a little bit, it's also just a insurance policy on our end. Like he was saying, there are lots of situations, and we don't know what kind of circumstances could come into play. And we would like to be able to have the opportunity and ability to go through a different provider if need be. But like I mentioned before, we like where you guys are coming from. We respect that you want to have an easy integration between software and being the full provider. But on our end, we do need to consider the fact that you never know what could happen. So it's a little bit of an insurance policy.
And as well, on the micro level, a lot of our customers, just maybe would prefer a different provider as well.
Going off of that, we would just be, help me out here, guys.
Yeah, well, what I was gonna say is, for us to drop down from 100% exclusivity to 50%, it's definitely a dramatic decrease in overall production and income for our company. What we talked about as a group, we ran some numbers, and we found that dropping down only from 100% exclusivity to 99% exclusivity, so just that 1% equals we'd be losing just over $2 million. And kind of to run the numbers for you, 1% of shipments is 250,000 packages, and we took that multiplied by the average shipping cost of $8.83. And like I said, that equals just over $2 million. And obviously, the more percentages we go down, the more money we lose in the long run. So that's just kind of where we're coming from. We obviously understand what you guys are saying as well. And like you brought up the insurance policy, that's kind of our insurance policy as well. Not in the same way, but we're both here to make money in the long run for our companies, and we think potentially dropping that low could be detrimental to our partnership, if that kind of makes sense.
And you got that 250,000 from the 25 million that you guys said that you should 25 million annual 5 years a year.
So also just to put that in perspective, exactly what Jared was saying, that 50% of the shipments, we would be losing $104 million. So that is a significant amount of money. For every 1% we go down, we lose about $2 million. So that's kind of where we're coming from.
I see what you're saying here. I just think you gotta look at it from, right now that there's no income at all. I think it'd be at 50% you're making 50% more. I think that going up to 75% is a starting point to kind of get this relationship rolling. I know that my team and I have talked about, it's just nerve-wracking and a big expense for us to put all of our eggs in one basket before even seeing for the whole.
Yeah, it can kind of put us in a tough spot, especially with depending on what our contract terms are. It just gets you guys auto-powered if you're 100% of our shipments, and you guys can then leverage a lot of power over pricing and other things that just makes us nervous.
You guys haven't had any current problems with us, because you guys use us for some of your shipments right now.
Some of them, yeah.
Right.
And we're looking at increasing the amount of shipments that we
Right.
have you guys do at the end of the day.
Right.
So,
I understand understand your concern, and that is a valid concern. However, I do think our reputation speaks for ourselves. We are one of the biggest shippers in the United States and worldwide. That being said, we have built up that reputation that we will come through with our deadlines when we say, for instance, if it's a 2-day shipment, it'll be there in 2 days, and we have the fleet to match it. So we don't expect there to be delays, if that's what you're concerned about. Just because, like I said, we do have that fleet that it's not just a couple trucks running around, you know, thousands of trucks nationwide. And of course, there is gonna be weather. And if that is a problem, that's gonna be a problem for any company you go with, because no one can control the weather, unfortunately.
Yep. I see where you're coming from, Megan. I think it's pretty clear that this is a huge issue for both of us. So maybe we can hold off on coming to a decision right now. Maybe we could leave it more towards the end once we figure out, get some more things situated, if that's okay with you guys.
Definitely.
Could I offer just an option here? What if we went in from exclusivity down to 99%? That would give you an extra 250,000 packages that you can ship with someone else. That wouldn't be us. That's still a large amount for you. That way you wouldn't have to depend solely on us. You could look at other options if something came about.
I definitely appreciate you having an alternative right there, but I think we're just on completely different pages. I think we should maybe consider talking about some other things that we can find an agreement on and coming back to this huge deal.
Well, maybe we should move on to software costs. I know that was the next piece of our
Yeah.
agenda here.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, so we are willing to cover up to $100,000 of this implementation. And do you have a number of what your software implementation cost would be?
I think our estimates were around 200,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just to be sure we're on the same page here, this software implementation isn't the actual software itself. It's us training your guys' employees to make sure that the systems work together between FedEx and AutoZone.
Would this include the software itself too?
What's that?
Would the actual software be extra on top of the 200,000?
What we're saying is there's not a physical software that we're gonna give you. We're not gonna hand you a CD and tell you to upload it to your system. It's the cost to make our system talk to your system. So we have IT professionals come in to make sure that the two systems can integrate well and communicate between the two, as well as having the staff come in to train your employees on how to work the system. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that was a great explanation, thanks.
So like Courtney said, we'd be willing to do $100,000, which is quite a bit more than what UPS did, I understand. They did 75%, $75,000.
Yeah.
So it's still quite a bit more than what they were offering, and that is half of the estimated cost to implement the software.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we are looking more at a percentage wise, because I mean, there is a little bit of flexibility in there, it does change. I mean, we are looking at obviously 100%, but we wouldn't mind being in the middle at some point, if that's agreeable to you at all.
So what kind of number were you thinking?
We were looking at the range of 50% to maybe like 75%,
Okay.
somewhere,
So that would be,
150,000?
yeah,
okay, because we're at 50% roughly now,
yeah, yeah.
so. Which
Just
is
thinking
also,
a little bit more than that, just because it was a little bit over 200,000 with us, so that's all I'm trying to say, yeah.
okay.
And another thing, I know that you talked about we'd be a lot more willing to put money towards this software if we were able to test you guys out for a contract for just a quarter of a year first. And we'd be willing to pay for the software up to 50% if we could do that. And
That's right.
if everything goes smoothly, we would like to add independency to extend the contract for a further length too.
Okay. Well, we spoke amongst ourselves prior to the meeting, and we really believed that our previous shipments for you guys was kind of like a trial run. You guys said that you really enjoyed the process and were pleased with our service. How do you feel about that thought? Because I know it can be a little bit of an iffy topic, but that's what we believe was a trial run already. And we really want to be a confirmed partnership. We don't want to be in a trial run because that really just puts both of us at a little bit of an uncertainty. Because then you have employees on both ends that aren't really 100% dedicated to one another in that partnership, if that makes sense. How do you guys feel about that? Do you have any thoughts on that?
That makes sense, sorry Matt, that makes sense, but once a contract is finalized and agreed upon, we're just a little worried that, you know, maybe that, commitment or the pursuit of our business might fall off a little bit since you've already obtained it, if that makes sense. But we have liked, our past business with you, and we have been pleased with it.
When we're thinking of what, you know, you guys obviously want, we both want a higher not exclusivity, but a higher amount of shipments with you guys, so we're talking about, say we do go to 50% or 100%. We want to figure out how that's gonna work, and that's why we want a shorter contract, and we want the ability to renew a contract and then to see if we like it.
And I think kind of bouncing off of these guys, I see where you're coming from when you say we've kind of done a trial run, but I think we're more focused on doing a trial run with the software where both of our teams can come in, make sure we're integrating well and like on a personal, I wouldn't say personal, but on a, you know, and create a good relationship between both of us, because ultimately that'll definitely help out the business that we're gonna have together, so.
Absolutely, that's definitely something that we're very, you know, aware of, and we want that partnership, as we've mentioned before.
I think our concern, or part of our concern anyway, is that we will be investing this money to make our partnership work, to help both of our businesses grow. With putting that money towards helping this contract to happen, we don't want to risk just a 3-month partnership, do you know what I'm saying, with the money? So that's where we're coming from, we would need something a little longer than 3 months.
It's just setting up that software for $100,000. That's just too much money for us to invest in if we're only gonna have that 3-month trial period.
And we stand by our employees and our IT specialists that will come into your businesses and train your employees. And we also believe that when we spend that type of money, we want to make sure we're locking it in. We're going to make that service the best service possible for you guys. And if we were, like Alex said, and Megan, if we are going to spend that amount of money, we really want to make sure it's not just going to be a short amount of time or a trial run per se, and then that just be.
So another concern we talked about before this was that our estimate of the software was $200K because that's what it was previously. But obviously we have had 15% of our shipments going through you guys. There's some sort of software there, but it's gonna be a big deal to amp it up to a significant number of our shipments. So I really can't give you a flat number exactly how much the software is going to cost. I just know that we know that it costed $200K for the full implementation from the beginning.
Well, how about this? So, we were talking about that partnership, and we want to show you that we really care and we value. So we'd be willing to cover an extra $25,000. So we would cover a total of $125,000 to get these systems to work together. And so that's coming up from our initial opening, just to show you that we do value and we do care about this relationship.
Having said that, that is putting, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to speak over you. Having said that, we are putting significantly more money to make this partnership work with us, and we would expect that having put more money forward, we're guaranteed more of a lengthier relationship.
Yeah.
You wanna take a second?
Yeah, I think we should take a second,
Is that okay with you
amongst our
guys?
teams, and then come back in a minute or two, how's that sound?
That sounds good.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
Okay, thank you.
Would you like us to step out when you talk?
Oh, you're okay.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, we would like to step outside and talk.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
and they didn't give us, we're not gonna take a target and a minimum. We gotta trade these for targets, I think. So I don't think, unless they offer something a little bit more, I think if we can set them down to 75% exclusivity, and we can get this, then maybe we can take that 1 year contract.
They probably want that, maybe a lot more than 1 year,
They do.
for 75%.
They, because remember, they opened with 5.
Yeah, and 100%, I don't think they would take.
Yeah, but we opened with 1 quarter, that's what they're thinking too. I mean, yeah, meeting in the middle is 3
Well, we want more,
years,
they
but-
probably want 3, so if we could meet on 2.
I think 2 could work, or if we were to give them 3, we could ask for the no rural, fee.
Oh, yeah, we
So
should,
that's it,
that adds up to a lot of money.
yeah.
Do you know what those average? Yeah. It's kind of a big deal.
Well, did you find out how much little deliveries you did?
Yeah.
Oh, no, actually,
You could say then also,
5,000, I did that calculation.
you could say also we were talking about, we had a discount on our parts, instead of 25%, how about we bring it down to 10?
Yeah, we know what that's
Yeah.
I just don't think we should go past a year if they're just giving us our target. Because that would put us past our minimum, that's just not acceptable.
Wait, so what were you just saying again about the 25%?
Well, they want 25% discount on all of the AutoZone parts for their fleet, but we're thinking we're just gonna offer them 10%.
Okay.
And we could throw that in with the, contract length here, and try not to go to 3 years. I bet they're gonna shoot for at least 3.
Yeah.
That's like my guess what they're gonna ask for.
Okay.
We gotta figure out what we wanna do with it, so we probably just want to shoot after that 3 years. I don't think we're gonna bag, we definitely need to get some replacing the other ones too.
Yeah, we do. The only thing you gotta win on that 2-day delivery packages. Do we want to say, well, we'll take that and we'll also take the 5,000, we'll do a 2-year contract.
What if we say 50,000 2-day delivery packages?
Yeah.
Because we ship like 25 million. Yeah.
For 2 day.
Okay.
I do 50, and then I would do what they're asking for the software, and then we could go down to 2 years, or up to 2 years.
I think we gotta give them 3, if we have 75% of the software. We can start with 2 and see what they say, we should agree.
75% of the software? And
I mean,
62 or whatever.
75% of shipments, not software. Do you want, man, the software is a gray zone, I'm really surprised they asked us what the estimate was,
Yeah.
because I thought that was supposed to be them.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we're just gonna say 200,000 because that's what we did with UPS.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gave us that number just for that exact reference.
Okay, so
But we already have them for 50%.
for every 3 years, we'd like 50,000 2-day packages at the regular rate.
Is this at 3 years? A 3-year
Somewhere
contract?
2 years.
Okay, so 50,000 packages, for the 2-day rate, and then we want, then they
Let's
have
get
75%.
our renew contract in here then. I'd say,
You guys
Or just 1 more minute,
Oh,
just
great.
60 seconds.
It's just 2
Okay, so,
right? Just, provide a match, just provide a match.
regular price, okay. And then we want 75%.
I think we should touch on this renew contract, I think we can sink this one pretty quick before we
What you got here?
So 75%, 12 shipments. And 3-year contract for, 3-year contract. So, we want 50,000 2-day deliveries, at regular price. We want 75% of shipments to be handled by them.
50,000 what? 2 day.
2-day deliveries at regular price.
50,000 and 5,000.
Where's the price? And that's the one we can go back down.
So look at, we have already over 25 million shipments a year.
So 50,000 really still isn't that much, you know?
Yeah.
The gold get goes with 500, but that's not. I usually ship 75% shipments. And redo the contract, that equals a 3-year contract, although it's 2 long years then. Switch on.
You guys wanna knock on the door when you're done?
We're ready.
We're ready, yeah.
So did you guys, have anything you wanted to add to the conversation? When you were out in the hallway?
Not this time, I think we'd still like to stick with the software discussion right now.
Okay,
Were you able to discuss that $125,000 offer?
yeah, we were, and I think, you can explain what happened.
We're looking at this and we're kind of touching back on some of the things we already touched on, like shipments, as well as, we're kind of looking at the, 2-day packages that we were, also considering, which is number 5 on the agenda. What we're thinking is, if you guys offer us 50,000 2-day delivery packages, at normal 3-day shipping price,
It was at 50,000 or 5,000?
It was originally 5,000, but as far as the software cost goes, we just talked about the contract length, and that was a big deal to you guys too, before deciding we wanted to pay for the software. So we were thinking that we would ask for 50,000 2-day deliveries at regular price, and keep in mind that we do go with, last year we had 25 million packages sent. So that isn't a huge percentage, but it is something that would help out quite a bit. And we also would like you guys to still have 75% of our shipments, but with an option to renew for an additional 3 years. And this would all be in exchange for a 3-year contract signed.
Do you mind if we step out and talk again? Just with that new information?
Yeah, go ahead.
Things for us.
Do you want me to write anything down for you, or did you get that?
Could you say that again?
Yeah, so we're thinking that we would ask for 50,000 2-day delivery packages at regular rate.
125,000 covering software, so.
Correct.
120 what?
Under
125.
25,000.
And then 75% of shipments will be going through you guys.
No, it's the renewed contract.
And we also would have an option to renew contract for 3 more years too, but today we'd also sign for a 3-year contract.
Yep.
If our math is correct, those 50,000 2-day packages at the regular rates would only cost you guys about $100,000.
How did you get that, if you don't mind me asking?
So I took the 24.85 price of 2-day shipments, and I multiplied that by 50,000. That came out to about 1.24 million. And then multiplied 50,000 by the 883 price, or regular rate. And then subtracted that, and that came to about $801,000. In total, that would be about 0.3% of the total business. Or large.
About 800,000?
Yeah, that'd be, if it were to be, I guess that'd be the total of all of our packages,
Sure.
so it's not much,
Okay.
not too much.
And when we're talking about renewing the contract, we mean at the same set,
Right.
obviously.
So you wouldn't want the option to change anything on that, or you would?
We would like the option to keep the same contract, keep the same prices, the numbers.
Okay.
What, how do you guys feel about a 4-year contract with the ability to renew for another 4 years, like you stated, but potentially having the ability to alter anything on that contract?
Like things that you may not.
Yeah, you could.
On our
It
side,
didn't work
on
out.
your side.
Right.
That'd be something to consider. We guys still think about taking a minute? to
Yeah, I
discuss?
think we need to
Yeah.
discuss your
Okay.
last offer a little bit.
I think we'll touch on that too.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
thank you guys. what were you saying again there?
I don't know if he messed up the number, if he thought it was 4 or 3, but
What?
for the contract, he's like, if you guys are gonna do a 4-year contract, we'll have the ability to renew
For 4 years.
for 4 years.
So
Maybe
right now it's 3 and 3, they wanna bump to 4 and 4 with a chance to renegotiate.
I'd bump to 4 and then take us out on that renewable contract.
Wait, one more time?
We could take the 4-year contract,
Mhm.
but we could change the ability to renew for 5 extra years. It'd be something, a little bit of a deal.
To them.
Sides.
Well, if we wanted to renew it for 10 years, they would be loving that. That's like a good thing for them.
No, they don't, I mean, with the rise of costs and everything, they don't want that, they don't, especially if we're being able to change anything, and they're not, like, that grandfathered in, it's called grandfathered in price. I mean, they're gonna have to hold those shipment prices for basically 9 years, which is pretty substantial.
Yeah, I guess what I'm looking at here is that
Gas could go up,
our
double, and they
our
would
original
do-
contract goal was to have it be just a quarter of a year, and then our discounts maximum was
To make
1 year.
this kind of a big deal, like,
I think we should say no
say no to what?
to their
5
idea
year?
to extend it to 4. I think we should say
Keep it
no.
over 3.
keep under 3,
Yeah, we can.
3 and 3, yeah, okay.
What was the last thing they were saying they wanted to?
They-
I know they wanted
So
to.
their idea was to offer, what, it'd be 50,000 2-day packages, 75% off shipments, and then an option to renew for 4 years. For a 4-year contract signed today. And by bumping it up 1 more year, they would give us the option to renegotiate before extending that new contract for 4 years. But I think we should say no, almost.
I mean, it is a big deal. I mean, if
I
we
think-
were to go 5, we would need 0 extra charge for rural deliveries. We would need, to get a 40%, like, at least a 40% discount on their services. Right?
So should we say no to their 4-year plan, or should this just be in response to their 4-year? Because that's what their offer was, it was for 4 years.
Yes, they're saying 4, we want an extra charge.
I think you should
0
tell
extra
them, just
charge.
say, no, we don't wanna take that deal, but we are willing to sign a 5-year contract if all of rural shipments will be free.
As well as us getting a 40% discount.
Yeah, that
on our
discount's big
services.
too.
Okay,
And then, in return, we can do the FedEx logo on our packages,
and you'll be the official,
and the logo, the sticker on our doors, we can put their sticker on our trucks.
be the official provider, that sounds
Okay,
good.
so we will give them 5 years in exchange for
100% rural,
100% rural,
40% discount on regular shipments.
so 40%.
Should I start out with 4, and then if they don't like 4, should I go 5?
I would say no to the 4 and just do 5 right away.
Okay, 5 years in exchange for,
Well, let's get this one too, the ability to renew a contract for 5 years.
Yeah.
yeah,
We'll do for 5,
Mhm.
and then we want, I don't think we should touch on this one yet, I don't know,
I think it could get thrown in there.
okay.
What else is the 40% discounts?
Yeah.
What else can we use that for? Because this is kind of covering some huge things on both sides.
Yep. So we want this, we want 75 on this. We want, oh, that's right here. They're gonna get this. We want 50,000. 5 years. I mean, yeah, no, really, I can see us doing 5 if we get all that.
Do you just want to read it off one more time so you're prepared to come?
Yeah, so what we're willing to do is we could do a 5-year contract in exchange for 75% of our shipments, $125,000 covered of the software, 40%, or no, I'll leave that last, but, 1,000 2-day deliveries, packages annually. And then.
Well, for the 2 days, for the 5-year contract though, we're gonna ask for 100%, right? Like all of them covered for free. Because right now, on the 3-year, we have
Yeah, rural we want
all of them covered.
0% extra charge.
Wait, rule?
Yeah,
I'm talking about, the 2-day packages.
Yeah, 50,000
Oh,
2
yeah,
days.
Yeah, 50,000. Yeah,
Zero
those are-
percent extra charge for rural. And then the ability to renew a contract for 5 extra years at the set price.
So they come in first, say, we appreciate your first offer, but we're gonna have to decline. What do you think on our last one, 3 for 3? And if they say something,
5.
and then we would offer the 5 for 5.
Okay.
Or do you guys wanna bump it up right away? What do you think is best?
I'd say if they bring it up, then we'll bump it up.
Okay. Otherwise, try to keep that contract length lower.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll see what they say. We'll wait and let them talk first.
We were literally, this is the most biggest difference we had contract length. We had a quarter there started at
And
5 years.
exclusivity, they're at 75% now, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
I mean, a little 99% already, it was so silly, I think.
So we're not gonna
You're
do
not
it
business
unless.
yet.
Right.
Like, you're not losing anything, 'cause you.
So we're declining the offer, but we're not gonna tell them about the 5-year unless,
Yeah. Yeah, we won't tell them.
unless what?
If
We'll let them walk in and share their minds first.
we're gonna decline the 4-year offer, and then if they say, okay, we have a counter, and I think then we should say, all right, do you mind if we suggest one instead, and then bring the 5-year up?
Okay.
Because we gotta see if they, or we
Yeah,
can
we gotta
decline,
start making some
oh,
agreements.
sorry. They still have to respond to the 3-year offer. So we have to decline their 4th year, ask them if they think of the 3-year. If they say they wanna offer something else, say, actually, we have one more alternative, we wanna give you guys
If
first.
they ask if we wanna offer anything else,
Mm.
yeah.
I'm gonna take the.
If they don't, then we could say the same.
Because 3 years is a pretty good deal, they actually, you're right, they might
Yeah.
take that.
It's a good deal.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we'll just let them talk first. See what they say. So we don't wanna give them any other information.
This is kind of fun.
It is complicated.
It is complicated.
Next time we take a break, if you take another one, next time you guys go out and let them stand, just so I can get them on camera
Yeah, okay.
doing their conversation.
Yep.
Should we let them know we're done?
Yeah.
Well, they're,
I don't come in the crowd.
yeah, they're the ones that took the break.
Okay.
Should we talk about the discount for our parts for them, throw that in there with this or not?
Yeah, I mean, not yet, just because we know that their goal is 10%.
Yeah.
So we don't need to really,
We should save that one.
yeah, we can just save that one for, and then it's gonna be just a mutual.
Okay. I might offer them, or tell them.
That'll be
we'll
easy
give you
one.
5% discount,
Yeah.
or I mean, where should we open on that one? 5%?
They want it at 25.
We understand you guys want 25.
Yeah, we gotta open it.
Oh, they want, yeah, but we
If
can
they
go
want-
at 5 then.
We can give them the 25 if we're getting the 40.
No,
Well, we'll take 10 though.
yeah, we should open at 10 and say, how about that? They'll probably agree with it, 'cause it's in their target, they'll be like,
Yeah.
okay, sweet.
Yeah.
Well, win-win situation there.
Yeah.
But I think that would be pretty easy to knock off. If we can knock off, if we can agree to something in here, we're gonna knock off a lot of our big boys,
Yeah.
which will be nice.
So we're declining the 4-year and the 3-year, or we're declining the 4-year?
We're declining the 4-year, with 3 years offers. You guys ready?
No problem. So, did you team have time to discuss, what you guys think?
We did.
Well, so I think that what we kind of were discussing is you wanted those 50,000 packages for 2-day shipping. We're willing to do 25,000 packages, so we'll come up from the 5,000 to 25,000 2-day shipping packages. We'll cover that $125,000 software cost. And that would be in exchange for 95% of shipments that we would provide for you. Keep in mind, that's about a $10 million loss for us, moving from that target. And then we know that you mentioned that 3-year contract, just because of such a loss that would be taken, we really want to push for that 4-year contract.
With the renewal.
With the renewal, so we'll be coming down from 5 years down to 4, with giving you the option to renew, as you mentioned.
I still think we're in completely different books as far as, how much our shipments would go through you guys, but, we did discuss a counter offer, to,
To the 4-year.
yeah,
Kind of how we're looking at it right now is, we could do the 5 years, a 5-year contract in exchange for the 75% of shipments. 50,000 2-day deliveries. 0% extra charge for the rural deliveries. And then the ability to renew the contract for 5 extra years at our discretion with identical taxes and fees and all that stuff.
And keep the software the same at the 125,000?
Correct, yep, software at 125,000.
I believe this software is a one-time fee front, isn't it?
Yep, I just wanted to make sure we were all on the same
Oh,
page there.
sure, sure.
And then I guess kind of to bounce off of that, we'd be on board for the FedEx sticker on our store doors. We'd be on board with the FedEx logo on our packages as well. And then,
Although you would be 100% exclusive, you'd still be the official provider of your shipper of AutoZone parts.
Right, and we
So you'd
appreciate
still have
that.
that branding and recognition.
And we would put a sticker that clearly portrays that to everybody in our store, in all of our stores. So there'd be a sticker in the store and on the packages being shipped.
Right, with that in mind, how do you feel, we would really like to push for that 25% discount on all of your maintenance parts that will be used in our fleet. Are you guys okay with that?
That's something that's open for discussion. Do you want to try to bring that into this contract right here? Or these terms that we just discussed about contract length?
Definitely.
Okay.
You know what the cost would be, or how many parts you would buy per year, and what that would come out to be?
We do not.
Could I just lean in for a quick word? We can all, or should we step
we
out for a
can
minute?
step out for like a minute or two, I think it's, yeah.
Did you guys get those numbers?
I think it actually said 5 year, they wanted a 5-year contract for 75% of shipments.
5-year renewal, 75% shipping, for shipments to go for that,
50,000 2 days.
50,000 today, and 125,000 for the ship software.
Okay.
I think this is really good for us, because we're getting our contract with that we wanted.
Yeah.
We are not so concerned with the renewal, we're not concerned with this 2-day, we're not concerned with the world, however, that is giving us all of our marketing chips. Just, I'm making that note that
Yeah.
Right.
And 75% is far away from 90%.
what is our target on that?
90%.
Do we wanna go ahead and say we'll do 90%, but we will cover all the rural fees, and then we'll bring in that number and make them realize that that is a huge cost to us?
Yeah.
And then what about the discount? We haven't talked about the discount.
Yeah, the second one,
Yeah.
yeah, we gotta tie that in,
For
I think we,
our pricing and service.
did they say the discount? No, 15's our thing for that. We know, we haven't talked about this.
Do we wanna add that in there?
What's that?
Do we wanna add that into the next discussion with them?
I also think we should have the software.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should start.
It sounds like we agree that that's fine.
I'll ask them if it's
Yeah,
okay if we
that's
lock
okay,
that
then
in.
we can go ahead and write that down.
So, if we go up to discounts, we've already told them we do 15%, how about we bump it up to 20% discount? 15, sorry.
Well, we started 15, we're giving them 15 already.
What's our?
Wait, what do they want for that?
They want
There was
50
65,
or
wasn't it?
65% discount.
We haven't talked about that at all.
Yeah, we haven't talked about that
And
yet.
there's no excuses.
And I think this is where I might, if it's okay with you, bring in our numbers with that 65 and just say that it's not an option for us
Yeah, that was
so far.
literally was
We wouldn't be making money with that, but we would be willing to go up from our 15% up to, what is our target there?
I think 20, 25.
Do you mind if we have one more?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
We'll knock on the door when we're ready. Thank
Okay.
you. So we could go up to maybe 18% just because our numbers have better too. So,
Just because we don't have a lot of room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that 90%, 75% is still really far
Right.
away.
Keep in mind too, you guys, that we are getting our opening for one thing, so we have a lot of room.
We're getting our opening for 2 days.
What's our,
No, we're getting it between opening and target.
Yeah.
Well, we'd be getting the contract for our.
yeah, and that's a big one for us, that we decided that was one of the biggest ones. So keep in mind, we can give a little bit more.
Okay.
So we went with the 75% shipments and we agreed to that.
What is our price for that one?
90.
That's come down, let's tell them 90.
When do we get points off if we go below our minimum or if we go below our target?
We just have to make sure we get something in return for that. So let's tell them 90 for the shipments. And we will cover that rural.
And how much money was that rule? Did you guys?
I did, in my agenda, I found.
Because if that's, yeah, okay.
Okay.
What if we go down to 85% shipments with a 25% discount on parts?
Okay,
Okay.
let me write that
If we go
down.
to 85% of shipments, for a 25% discount on parts, and we'd offer them a 25% discount off our current prices for services. Is that reasonable?
Because that's it.
But we are getting our opening for one
Right.
of our biggest things,
What
so we
about
can.
20%?
So
I'm just
25%
thinking
discounts
that
on
we're so far
parts?
if we make small steps here, we're gonna
Yeah,
run out of time.
I'd say we go for our target. That's our actual goal, that's still a goal.
25, okay.
And we don't have to move any more on this, we can remove other numbers too already. So,
Did you write that down?
I did not, I got the 25%
Alright, so-
discount parts, 25%
85%
discount on.
shipments.
So we did 85% shipments.
25% of discounts on parts.
Hold on. 85% of shipments,
25% discount on parts.
25% discount for them.
Oh, and a 25% discount overall. on
It's 25 for
services.
both those, right?
On
Yeah,
shipments.
25% discount,
Of our current prices and services, and 25% discount. on
25% discount on parts for our fleet.
Okay.
Should I introduce that to them?
That's a good offer, I think. And
Okay.
then so what are we,
Can you defer when we present this, and you say that we'll cover rural fees, defer to me so I can make sure that they know
Right.
how much of the
So,
cost that is
so
to
I'll
us?
say, you want me to say that we will cover rural fees?
Yeah,
Okay.
okay, and we're doing 50,000 two-day shipments, we're agreeing to that, we're agreeing to the software, we're agreeing to the 5-year contract, with the option to renew. Are we agreeing to the 0% extra charge for rural deliveries?
Yeah.
So we're agreeing to that, but we have to push for the 85% off shipments, because that's gonna be below our target.
Okay.
yeah, we agree that we're not going any lower than 85%
We
for
can't,
shipments,
we're
right?
not.
Okay.
Are we agree on that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
85% is where we have to stay there.
Yep.
yeah, we can't go any lower than.
If we give-
because that's below our
If we
target.
give a 25% discount off our current prices and services, we can't go lower than 85% of shipments.
Do we wanna, I'm sorry, I'm screwing this up, but stay at 90 for the shipments
That's what I
and
think.
explain how much this rural fee is, cause that is huge.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do
Because
it.
we can always go down, we can never. go
Because you
back.
have the numbers on those,
Okay,
on the rural.
Okay, should we get them to sign this right away tonight for the software?
let's
then?
get this stuff,
Just maybe
whatever we
initial?
can
Yeah.
get done, get it done.
Okay, so I'm just gonna run through this again, 90% shipments, 25% discount on parts, 25% discount on shipping, 5-year contract, 5-year renewal, no all fees, and a 50,000 two-day shipment, right? Are we on the
And
same?
then pack.
50,000.
And the 125 for software.
Yep.
The 125 for all software.
For software.
Okay.
Alright, that's good.
Alright.
Yeah.
And I'll get 15.
We came up with an offer, if you guys would like to hear it.
Sure.
Okay. Starting out, we would like to provide 90% of your total shipments, 25% discount for you guys on our current prices and services, 25% discount for us on your parts for our fleet, a 5-year contract with a 5-year renewal. We'd cover all rural fees, 50,000 2-day shipping, and then we would cover the $125,000 for software.
And I just want to point out, with this rural fees, this is a huge cost to us. That's why we're staying rather high on some of our other points there. Just so you're aware, this cost for rural deliveries, for the 5 million packages, we're just assuming that 20% of the packages would need to be shipped to rural locations. So that's 5 million packages. That's a cost of $6.7 million to us that we would eat. So that's why we're staying higher on some of our other things, and we think that's a fair trade.
How does that sound?
You guys said you'd be able to give us the 40% discount on all FedEx services?
20,
25.
25, and we give you the 25?
Correct.
yeah.
Okay.
And if you don't mind, we have the contract here, if you want to take a look at this, if that works for you guys. We really think it would be beneficial for both of us to lock in $125,000 for software fees that we would be covering.
Seems like we're all on the same.
We can write that out on there
I
for
think,
now,
yeah,
set
we
that in stone, and
definitely
then
do that.
you and I could initial off on it before we sign at the end.
Yeah,
Is that okay?
yeah. I also think we should maybe cover some other things first, you know, get some other things set in
I
stone.
actually agree, I think that software should be included with the contract link. We gotta figure that out. But we did have something else we wanted to touch on about, the percent of shipments. 75% of shipments is our absolute maximum that we can go. So I don't really know what that does to your guys' offer, but we really cannot go past 75% of our shipments to you guys.
And then I guess kind of to counter your guys' offer, we are set on 75% of shipments. But we would be willing to bring down the amount of 2-day delivery packages you guys could offer us. We could go down to 5,000 on that.
Okay.
And then on top of that, we'd also be willing to give you guys a 40% discount on our parts if in return we could get 40% discount on FedEx services.
So 40 and 40.
40 and 40, yeah.
For a 40% discount on our services to you,
Yep.
And this is to stick with the 5-year contract, right?
Correct, yep.
And the $125,000 software fee?
Yep, correct.
Do you mind if we step on topic?
Yeah.
Take your time.
Go for it.
Discuss this one. Let me just make a note here.
the same offer, but then take away, some of the rural shipments.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we could do a 5% extra charge, we'll take a 5%. I'm saying right now we're sitting, if they, if they,
that much though.
For
them.
they said that was a big deal.
They said it was 2 billion. Yeah.
Yeah, so if we do a 4%.
But if it's only
Everything
a
else
5%
holds,
extra
I
charge over like a normal,
Package.
right?
He's saying
Yeah.
he's saying add 5% to the rural deliveries.
Yeah, off of like, so the
It's-
flat, there's a flat
yeah.
rate right now, according to
Mhm.
what we want, we would tack another 5% onto that delivery fee.
Yeah, okay.
Cause right
But
now,
if we could get this, this, and all that, I think we can.
Otherwise, okay, so pretty much we can be lenient on this one.
That's our target too, right, 5%?
Yeah.
So, you know,
So we can be lenient on this one, we can be,
which is huge, our last offer had 100% of rural shipments covered.
yeah.
I think the renewed contract.
And then maybe we could be
actually
a little lenient on this. I know we want 40%, but
We go another 30, that's closer to what they're 25.
I'm down to do that too.
those are the only, I'm looking at it, those are the only two
Yeah.
things we can really be lenient on.
Yeah,
I think the numbers would add up too with that.
Yeah, no, the lowest we can do is 30% on their services. Because if you think about it, their services are gonna be way more expensive for us than it is for them getting parts. So we're gonna be getting a better deal on a higher, like,
well, if they're 70, if they're taking 75% of our business, they should give us a 30, at least a 30% discount. Quantity wise.
Yeah, I was trying to get that for you, but.
I'll start with the 5 extra,
Are we able to quantify how much the rural fee is gonna save them if we take just 5% instead of 100?
She said 6.7 million,
is that what it was?
so
So 5%
it'd be 6.4 million basically.
Well,
that we'd be paying instead.
Yeah,
No, what you have to do,
that they would be incurring.
Well, no, cause that 6.7 million was 100% of the rural fees. wasn't it?
Yeah.
So then we're gonna be paying we'll be paying all of that, we'll be paying 95%, we'll take, they cover 5%.
Oh, they covered 5%?
Yeah,
Okay, so we'd be paying 6.265 million.
yeah. So we could talk about that number when we bring this offer up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wait, so,
Here's what I'll do, I will make the counter offer
okay,
for the 5 extra % charge,
yeah.
and then you can come out and come after.
So the road,
And then, on top of that, if they're not budgeting with that, then we're gonna have to go down to 30% on their services. Other than that, there's not much else we can do here.
I
don't
think we
they'll
gotta,
come out with just like some nuts thing.
alright, 80% of your guys' shipments, but we gotta tell them we can't go past that, like we really can't.
yeah.
Cause our contract length was, so.
Alright, so we discussed a little bit, we would be willing to go down to that 75% on shipments, but we're gonna need a little something in return, because obviously that's a lot lower than what we originally had planned coming into here. So if we were to do that, we would think that it'd be best for us to do that 25% on discounts on parts, and then 25% of, what was the second one?
Our current
The
price
current price and services, yeah.
for you guys. Okay.
We
A
would-
25% discount?
Yeah, so 25 for both of
And
those.
then, with those two things you guys added, would everything else remain the same?
We would actually be willing to come up on the 2-day shipping of packages to 10,000.
Okay.
And then the 5-year contract would remain the same, the 5-year renewal would stay the same.
125,000.
So-
The rural deliveries.
Okay. 0 extra charge for